Thank you guys for tuning in to another segment of the Sit Down with Malik Wright, presented by First Star Logistics. Let's discuss the Golden State Warriors and Stephen Curry. I say Stephen Curry because Stephen Curry's given this organization everything, every fiber of his being, he's given them. And now what we're seeing is a guy that's frustrated. We saw him after the end of the Lakers game. He rips his jersey after literally a historic performance. What, 46 points he put up?
Yeah.
We're seeing Steph Curry having to carry a team that isn't helping him. But you know what? I could sit up here and I could say, oh, Steph Curry should request a trade and all this kind of stuff like that. That's neither here nor there. What I'm going to say is the Warriors have one person to blame for this all falling, and that's Steve Kerr. Steve Kerr's refusal to play young players and give these young guys an opportunity is why the Warriors find themselves in the situation that they're in. While Steph Curry is still playing like the elite player that he is, guys like Klay Thompson look like a shell of themselves. Guys like Draymond Green, they still offer things, obviously, but he's older now. You mean to tell me a guy like Jonathan Kuminga is sitting on your bench who, I don't know if you saw it, Daniel, but for the last couple of games, double-doubles. This guy has literally been on fire. Not double-doubles, but literally scoring in the double digits.
Yeah.
I apologize. That's what this guy's been doing. And for the longest time, Steve Kerr refused to play him. He played Andrew Wiggins through his shooting slump over a guy like Jonathan Kuminga. Now he's finally got some sense about him, and now he's starting to play him more. But then you have guys like Moses Moody, who they drafted, right? Never really got a lot of run. And I understand players have dealt with injuries, stuff like that, but just the refusal of player development and trying to help these players grow in the league. Then you gave up on your second overall pick, James Wiseman. Who knows what he's going to be?
Yeah.
I don't know what he's going to be. Can't tell you he's going to be a great player, but I know that if you draft a player that high, I know if you pick a player, you should at least see what you got in him. But that's not really what the Warriors do. I would say the one draft pick that they have drafted under Steve Kerr that has consistently played is Kevon Looney. But look how long it took Kevon Looney to get into the lineup.
Yeah.
That was by force. They even played Dario Saric over him at points.
Yeah.
Gave up on Jordan Poole. He was playing great at one point in time, but I think that was it's a confidence thing. He gets punched in the face by Draymond Green. I'm just being honest. Gets punched in the face by Draymond Green and literally loses all his confidence. The Warrior organization didn't have his back. Made it very clear, Draymond's one of their original guys, and they chose Draymond over him. I understand Jordan Poole might not be anything. I don't know. I know he wasn't playing terrible with the Wizards, what I saw.
Yeah.
So I say all that to say the Warriors find themselves in the situation of a frustrated Steph, a frustrated Warriors team because you did not look forward to your future. You did not play your young players of the future, the guys that are supposed to be helping lead this. Could you imagine if Jonathan Kuminga, Moses Moody, James wasn't on the team anymore, but you imagine if you played those guys earlier on and gave them the experience, they'd be so much more developed than what they are right now. Jonathan Kuminga, to me, looks phenomenal.
Yep.
If I was a team right now, I'd probably call the Warriors and see what I could get for him. Not saying that they would deal him. But you think about some of the other names that the Warriors have drafted under Steve Kerr. Harrison Barnes was a draft pick under Steve Kerr. He's now a starter for the Kings in a very he
He's a good role player.
Yeah. He's a role player. He does what he's supposed to do. And, not everybody's going to come out and be an elite player. Not everybody's going to come out and be this offensive juggernaut. That won't happen. But the least you could do is, if you're drafting these guys, build around Steph, obviously, develop these guys, and hopefully when he gets to this point where Draymond Green, Klay Thompson, Andrew Wiggins, and all these other are aging, you can start to get some type of production out of these players. But for some reason, Steve Kerr sees it as pulling teeth, getting these guys on the court. And you want to complain about calls? You want to complain about, come on, man. Steph 100% is putting the Warriors organization on his back. He is showing up night in and night out. When I just look at it, I say these are guys that came in highly touted, that have a lot of talent. I mean, we're not talking about any small picks. Kuminga was a 7th overall pick, okay? Moody was the 14th overall pick. James Wiseman, who's no longer on the team, was the 2nd overall pick. These are guys that you would have expected to contribute at this point. Maybe he's learned something. He's playing the kid Pajemski, whatever his name is.
Brandon
He's playing
Pajemski.
him more.
Yeah.
He's playing Trace Jackson Davis a little bit more too. But build upon that. The point is the Warriors' legacy, the Warriors' dynasty could have lasted and could still
be going.
Could still be going if you would have played these guys a lot sooner. You would have got a lot more production out of them, and you'd be happy with the results. Daniel, what say you?
Yeah, I think your analysis of Steve Kerr is spot on, how he's trying to develop these young guys. The point I'll make right now is, how do you fix it this season? One, I think you need to make a trade. I think you need to look at Andrew Wiggins. I think you need to look at Chris Paul. I think you got to look at those guys and say, hey, let's have a real conversation about getting, like, it's not working. Andrew Wiggins, Chris Paul, I would look to trade them. I would see, okay, what could you possibly get back from them? And I agree with you. The young guys, Jonathan Kuminga should be seeing 30-plus minutes. Tracy Jackson Davis, I'll put my stamp on it right now. I watched him a little bit this year. He's one of my favorite young players in the NBA. What he's done with their team in such short minutes, 18 minutes a game, 10 minutes a game, he's great in the pick and roll. He's a great rebounder, great offensive rebounder. He's one of the guys I'm looking at. The other night, they played Kevon Looney 5 minutes against the Lakers. He played 5 minutes. So if you're playing Kevon Looney 5 minutes, give Tracy Jackson some more minutes. So with this team, I think they missed Draymond Green's physicality. They missed his defense. And you've got to figure out a way to get back to your defense, because the offense is fine. You're still shooting the lights out of the ball. Steph Curry is still fine. But right now, and not fine, Steph Curry is still great. But right now, you have to capitalize, because Steph Curry is 35 years old. He is not going to get any younger. And you still, respectfully, can win something with him within the next couple of years. I think you can still compete for a championship, but it's got to start now. Jonathan Kuminga, give him more minutes. Tracy Jackson Davis, give him more minutes. Trade CP3, look to trade Andrew Wiggins, and see if you can add some defensive versatility, and see if we can, build a guy like Brandon Pajemski off the bench. So the Warriors this year, I'm not confident in them. Down the line, I think if you get those two young guys, I think both those guys can be top 40 players in the NBA. So.
And I'll push back on one thing. I agree with everything you said. But this idea, I think the Warriors organization has it in their mind that I think it's sometimes hard for them to move on from a crop that has won them so many titles.
Yes.
And Draymond Green and Andrew Wiggins and Klay Thompson and Steph Curry. Not saying move on from Steph Curry. But what I am going to say is, when you brought up the physicality of the team, I don't know if you watched Kuminga play. Kuminga is one physical ass player.
Yes.
And Kuminga has upheld the physicality of the Warriors without getting into this stupid fights with other players that we may have seen Draymond get into. See, Draymond Green brings physicality, but he also brings the intimidation factor, where he tries to intimidate you and talk crap. I think Kuminga has done a great job of filling in, and when he was in there, when he was starting with them, and I know they've started him very sparse, I would say, lately, but I would say the physicality has not dipped off one bit with Kuminga in there.
I think Kuminga is great. I think Kuminga's physicality is great. I think this speaks more to the other guys around him. Klay Thompson, respectfully, right now, defense, he's not offering anything else. Dario Saric, defensively, is not great. You have the 25th ranked defense. I think Kuminga is great, but if you have a Steph Curry on your team, you have to build around that Steph Curry. And I don't feel like the roster they're putting out right now is a championship level roster. So I think Kuminga is great. Tracy Jackson Davis is great. I would even maybe Klay Thompson. Maybe it's time to go. He's old.
I would. I mean, he's still saying he believes he's a top player in this league. I don't see that, but I will say Moses Moody, even a guy that I've seen in spots this year, has really, really impressed me. And I'm not saying that he could be the offensive threat that Klay Thompson is, but these are guys that when they do get the opportunities to prove that they can play in this league, they show up in a big way, and they try to. So for me, I don't understand Steve Kerr's reluctance to give these guys a chance. That all being said, let us know down in the comment section what you guys think. What do you guys think the Warriors need to do in order to get back to their championship mentality, the championship ways, the championship playing style? Let us know down in the comment section. If you like more video content like this, give this video a like, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and turn on post notifications so you guys don't miss when we go live or upload content from the First Star Logistics studio.